Hi, today I'm going to show you how to crochet an unusual headwear piece, a balaclava. I'll be making it using crochet ribbing made of front post and back post double crochet stitches. Crocheted balaclavas are very popular, and I'll show you my version of how to make one. It's made with a beautiful textured pattern. This balaclava is worked from the crown, top down, in the round. This allows you to try on the balaclava as you go. Then I'll shape the face opening and continue crocheting down. I added an edging to both the bottom of the balaclava and the face opening. But you can skip this step if you prefer. Do whatever you like best. I crocheted the balaclava in the round. And the joining seam runs right here. It's practically invisible. The stitch pattern is puffy and textured, making the balaclava very warm. Here's how it looks from the top. This is the crown. This is how the edging on the face opening is done. And a similar edging is at the bottom. And here's what the stitch pattern looks like. Now let's measure the balaclava. The height is about 34 centimeters. The width at the bottom is about 23 centimeters. The height before the opening is about 18 centimeters for me. But I'll repeat that almost all of these measurements can be adjusted to your liking by changing the number of rows you make. And also by using a different yarn weight. I added an edging to the balaclava on both the face opening and the bottom. But keep in mind that this edging prevents the crocheted fabric from stretching. This aspect makes the balaclava's size slightly smaller. So you should decide for yourself whether you need to add an edging to your balaclava or not. The size of the face opening can also be adjusted as you wish. So this is a customizable balaclava that you can make to your own size and based on your own preferences. My balaclava will fit a head circumference of 53 centimeters to 59 centimeters perfectly. Look at how the balaclava's stitch pattern stretches, and now look at the edging. You see, the edging is not very elastic. So you could say the edging will hold the fabric a bit at the bottom and around the face opening. I used this yarn, it's Alize Lanagold Classic. In a 100-gram skein, there are 240 meters. The composition is 51% acrylic, 49% wool. My color is number 29. And I took this yarn as an additional strand to make the finished balaclava fluffy. This is Alize Classic Mohair, also color 29. The composition is 51% acrylic, 25% mohair, and 24% wool. A 100-gram skein has 200 meters. I used one skein of each yarn for my balaclava. I used a 6mm crochet hook because the combined strand of yarn turned out quite thick. Okay, let's start crocheting. We'll make a magic ring. Here's how I do it. Now I chain one for height. Into the magic ring I'm making 11 double crochet stitches. Here's how I do it. I'll continue like this until I have 11 double crochet stitches. Done. Now I'll count the double crochet stitches to make sure I didn't make a mistake. Okay, this is the turning chain. I'm not counting it for now. Let's count 1, 10, 11, I made 12. I made one extra, so I'll pull out this stitch. Let me count again. Now there are 11 double crochet stitches, that's correct. Now I pull this yarn tail and the loop in the center tightens. Now into the turning chain I'll make a slip stitch to join the round. So we've started, the first round is done. I'm making 2 turning chains. Starting from this round we will include the turning chains in our stitch count. In the previous round, if we count the turning chains, I have 12 stitches, the turning chain and 11 double crochet stitches. In this round I'm going to double the number of stitches. I'll go from 12 to 24 stitches. I started with 2 turning chains. And now I'll make a front post double crochet around the turning chain from the previous round, and here's how I do it. I yarn over, then I kind of wrap my hook around the stitch from the row below. Then I complete a double crochet on top. This is the front post double crochet stitch. Next, into the top of this stitch from the previous round, I'll make 1 double crochet. And now into the post of the stitch below that. In the previous round I'll make a front post double crochet. This is how I'm making my increases. From 1 stitch in the row below I end up with 2. Because I work a front post double crochet into the stitch below and then a regular double crochet into the top of that same stitch. And I just alternate like this. Into the stitch of the row below I make a front post double crochet. Then I make a double crochet into the top of the stitch. Here's the top V, I work a double crochet into it. And I'll alternate this all the way around. Double crochet, front post double crochet, double crochet, front post double crochet. And in the end I should have 24 stitches, including the turning chains. Again, I'm still including them in the count. I will do this as long as I'm working the increase rounds. So I've almost reached the end, just the last few stitches left. Here's the last one. The last stitch in the round while we're doing increases will always be a front post double crochet. In this round, including the turning chains, I should have 24 stitches. I join the round with a slip stitch. And I've got a circle like this, that's 2 rounds completed. Now I'll start the next round also with increases. I'll follow the same principle as the previous round. I'll turn 1 stitch into 2, so from 24 stitches I'll get 48. So I make 2 turning chains. Then into the turning chain of the row below I make a front post double crochet. Then into the top of the stitch right here I'll make a double crochet into this V shape. Then next into the front post double crochet from the row below, I'll make another front post double crochet. Next into the top of the stitch I'll make a double crochet. Then into the double crochet from the row below I'll make a front post double crochet. Next a double crochet into the top of the stitch. And now a front post double crochet into the front post double crochet from the row below. Essentially, I'm doubling the number of stitches again. And I'll work all the stitches this way in this round. And in the end, I should have 48 stitches, including the turning chains. This is what my work looks like now. I'll continue this way to the end of the round. I have just the last stitch left. Now I join the round with a slip stitch. I will continue crocheting without increases. But if you're using a thinner yarn or need to make a larger balaclava, you can work one more increase round. Maybe you don't need to double the stitches again, but just add a few increases like 8 or 10, evenly spaced around the round. I won't be making any more increases, and I will no longer include the turning chains in the stitch count. They will now act as a back post double crochet. Here in the row below we have a front post double crochet. I'll work a front post double crochet into it. Next I'll make a back post double crochet around the double crochet stitch from the row below. I make a back post stitch like this. I yarn over, wrap my hook around the stitch from the row below but from the back side. I wrap it like this, grab the working yarn with my hook and pull it through. Then I complete it like a regular double crochet. And now we alternate. Working into the front post double crochet from the row below, I make a front post double crochet. Next, around the double crochet from the row below, I make a back post double crochet. The double crochet stitch is kind of recessed and we work it as a back post double crochet. And now we alternate. Here's a front post double crochet, next will be a back post double crochet, front post, back post, front post, back post, and so on. Alternating like this, I'll work to the end of the round. My last stitch is a front post double crochet. And the turning chains are now acting as a back post double crochet. So I simply finish the round with a slip stitch. Now moving on to the next round. All subsequent rounds will be worked as follows. 2 turning chains, then make a front post double crochet around the front post double crochet from the row below. Then make a back post double crochet around the back post double crochet from the row below. And by the way, if you want a smaller balaclava but don't want to change the number of increases in the first few rounds, you can use a thinner yarn and a smaller hook, and your balaclava will turn out smaller. I'll continue crocheting as I've described until the piece reaches about your eyebrows. For me, from the round where I started the front and back post double crochet stitches, it's about 11-12 rounds, and this is what my work looks like now. Let's measure it. From the crown to the edge, it's about 18 centimeters. Try it on yourself to see how many centimeters you need to make. And the width here is about 23-24 centimeters. You should try it on. The balaclava should fit snugly on your head, and the face opening should start approximately above your eyebrows. Now I'll start shaping the face opening. So this is where the rounds are joined. This joining seam should be positioned exactly in the center back. And I need to mark with stitch markers how wide I want the face opening to be. After trying the balaclava on, I've marked where I want the opening to be. It's approximately from one temple to the other. Look, here is my joining seam. I count 14 stitches on one side. If you only count the front post stitches, that's 7 of them. And I place a marker on the next stitch. I do the exact same thing on the other side. I also count 14 stitches and place a marker on the 15th. My joining seam is exactly in the middle of the back, and this is how wide my face opening will be. And down here I'll be adding stitches, a few more than I had before. What do I mean? Between these markers I have, if I'm not mistaken, 21 stitches. But down here at the bottom I will be adding more stitches. And you need to add an odd number of stitches to continue the ribbing pattern of front and back post double crochets. It will all become clear as I crochet the next round. I'll make 2 turning chains, then as usual I'll work a front post double crochet, then a back post double crochet, front post, and so on. I'll continue like this until I reach the marker. I'll finish with a back post double crochet where the marker is placed. Now I'm going to chain stitches to form the face opening. And I'm going to chain more stitches than I marked off for the opening. This is to make the balaclava more comfortable. So I have 21 stitches at the bottom, but I'm going to chain more. For example, 23 or 25 stitches. Try it on and see what's more comfortable for you. I'm going to chain 23 stitches, but I won't be making a standard chain. If I chain like this, there won't be any elasticity at the bottom of the opening. I don't want that. I need the bottom part of the face opening to be stretchy. Therefore, I will make my chain as follows. I insert my hook here, pull up a loop and work it like a single crochet. Then I insert my hook here, pull up a loop, and then pull another loop through those two. And this is how I'm making my stitches. You can make a different number of stitches. The main thing is that it must be an odd number. This is necessary so that our pattern lines up later. I have chained 23 stitches. This chain of stitches is elastic. Now I'm going to attach the chain to my work. Look, I can remove this marker. Before chaining, I ended with a back post double crochet. This means I need to start here with a back post double crochet as well. Here's the marker. This is where I'll attach the chain, also with a back post double crochet. I've made the back post double crochet. See, this part has more stitches. It's looser. This is to make the balaclava more comfortable to wear. Now I continue crocheting as before. Front post double crochet, back post double crochet, front post, back post. You can remove the marker. We won't need it anymore. I'll work to the end of the round. I finished the round, started a new one as usual, and reached the spot where I chained the stitches. I'm working a front post double crochet. Next, a back post double crochet. And now, into each stitch of the chain, I'll make one double crochet. I chained 23 stitches, so I will have 23 double crochet stitches. Working. This is what my project looks like. I'm finishing up the double crochet stitches. Now I'll make a back post double crochet. And then I'll continue in the established pattern just as before. And I'll work to the end of the round. At the end of the round, I'll make a slip stitch to join. 2 turning chains, and again I'll work in pattern until I reach this spot where the double crochet stitches are. Here I am. And now I'll also start working front post and back post double crochet stitches. Here I have a back post double crochet. Here I'll work a front post double crochet into the double crochet stitch from the row below. Next I'll make a back post double crochet. After that, a front post double crochet, and alternating like this, I'll work until I reach the end of the face opening section. Here I'll have the exact same pattern as the rest of the balaclava. By the way, the stitch pattern is reversible. It looks the same on both the right side and the wrong side. I'm making a front post double crochet. Then a back post. Then I'll continue crocheting as usual. I'll show you up close now. I've worked just 2 rounds. Look, you can see in profile that the lower part of the balaclava is wider. From here, continue working down for as many rounds as you need for the balaclava to be a comfortable length for you. In addition to these 2 rounds, I worked another 8 rounds. So in total, I worked about 10 rounds down. Now for the next step, I'm going to add an edging along the bottom of the balaclava. You can skip this, and in that case, your balaclava is already finished. Just weave in the ends, but I'll also show you how to make the edging. So now I'm going to work my stitches not through the whole V but only through the front loop, and pay attention to this. If you decide to add the edging, use a hook that is at least one size larger than the one you used for the main body, or even 2 sizes larger. I crocheted my balaclava with a 6mm hook, so I'll be making the edging with a 7.5mm or even an 8mm hook. The edging will be worked in slip stitches through the front loop only. This stitch pattern tends to pull the fabric in and make it less elastic. So if you make the edging with the same hook size you used for the balaclava, you won't be able to pull the balaclava over your head because the edging will prevent the fabric from stretching. So you must use a hook one, or preferably 2 sizes larger. I'll be using an 8mm hook for the edging. I'm making a slip stitch into the front loop only. And I'll do this for the entire round. I'm reaching the end of the first round of edging. And I just continue working the same way in the next round. And you can work this slip stitch edging in the front loop for as many rounds as you think looks good. This edging will curl up a little, which looks very nice. At the bottom of my balaclava, I made an edging of 4 rounds. You can make more rounds or fewer, see what you like best. And when you decide that your edging is done, make sure to finish at the same spot where you started the round. You can even mark it with a stitch marker to keep track. So my round started here, and this is where I'll end it. Cut the yarn. Pull it through and weave in the end. The bottom of the balaclava is done. I'll repeat one more time. Be sure to use a hook that is 1.5 to 2 or maybe even 3 sizes larger. Otherwise, when the edging pulls in the fabric, you won't be able to put it on. And this is the edging I ended up with. I'll use the exact same edging to finish the face opening on the balaclava, right here. Again, you can skip this edging if you want. I'm doing it the same way as the edging at the bottom. First, I'll attach the yarn. I do it like this. Chain 1. Here too, I'll work a slip stitch into the front loop only. I'll make a slip stitch here as well. I'll weave in this yarn tail at the very end. Look, on this side I don't have the V-shaped tops of stitches because this is where I chained the stitches. But there are these loops here, left from the foundation edge. I'll be working my slip stitches into them. Work these slip stitches loosely and with a larger hook. This will prevent the fabric from puckering. and the edging will have a similar elasticity to the main body of the balaclava. I'll continue making slip stitches like this. Edging this side as well. I'll make the same number of slip stitches here as I did on the other side. Moving on, here we have the V-tops again, so I'll work into the front loop only. I'll work like this to the end of this round. The second round and all subsequent rounds are worked with slip stitches into the front loop only. At the bottom of the balaclava I made an edging of 4 rounds, so I'll make the edging here with 4 rounds as well. You can make any number of rounds you think is necessary. Working. I'm approaching the end of the 4th round. You can use the yarn tail to see where the beginning of the round is. Cut the yarn and secure it. All that's left is to weave in the ends. I'm sure you can handle that on your own. And that's it, the balaclava is ready. All that's left is to weave in the ends, wash the balaclava, and it's ready to wear. Thank you for crocheting with me. Please subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss new videos. Goodbye and see you in the next video.